evening. Hello, guys. How are you? Well, we're here for Tucked In Tuesdays, and I'm doing TikTok. So if you see me looking to different places, that's why. But I have one of my most favorite authors that I've ever met in my whole entire life. Also, he got to come to Beaumont, and this guest is very, very special because many of you know his work, totally know his work, but you may have misquoted who it is. So I'll bring my friend. I can see him. Hi, Dr. Knight. How are you, Kimber? So I'll bring my friend, Mr. Joshua Dickerson. How are
Oh,
you?
I'm doing well. Let me get myself together here. I had it propped up
Get
really
yourself
well.
together.
Can you see me here? I'm trying to get it where everybody can see me. I apologize. I thought I had it good.
Oh, it happens. That means we're
Okay.
human.
Hey, how's it
So
going, Doc?
good. Welcome to Tucked In Tuesdays. This is your second time being
Yes, it is.
here.
Yes, it
And
is.
so the first book that we have, I'll talk about the second one later. That's Henrietta
Okay.
Savoy and Amelia and Avery and Hi Aubrey and Lonnie. So we have a lot of people tuning in, coming in. But I saw this book just recently that you were reading. And I was
Yes.
like, did you just write that book? And you said, no. I've been. So tell me what inspired you to write. Hello, Mike. How are you? Long time no see. And my friend's name is Joshua Dickerson.
Hello,
Now,
hello.
I'm telling you, you all know his work, but you won't know it until the reveal at the end. So just wait. All
Till the
right.
end.
So
We'll take
tell
that to
us
the
what
end.
inspired you. Oh, I got to say hello to these Ava, Ari, and Pop Pop. They're always on. So tell me what inspired you to write Lil D.
What inspired me to write Lil D is that I was working in a school and I heard a little girl call herself. She said she was ugly, and she said because her hair was she called her hair nappy. Her hair was natural. She called it nappy, and she said I have black skin, meaning that she was dark skinned, and she felt really ugly. And I thought about how many young people feel so insecure about themselves without realizing how beautiful they naturally are. So that was the inspiration behind Lil D.
Love that. So you know I don't read the books until the night of. So I've
Okay.
never opened Lil D. So when I read it, um, that's how you'll see it. So I have my phone out so the people that are watching on TikTok could see Mr. Joshua Dickerson. So if you want to interact with him, you can also go to YouTube and look up Tucked In Tuesdays, Dr. Belinda George, and you'll be able to chat with him and we can see the comments. So we have Lil D by Joshua T. Dickerson, illustrated by Lameek Wilson. So I do have a question. Do you know Lameek? Have you met Lameek?
I know Lameek very well. I know Lameek very well. My fifth grade teacher named Miss James. She inspired me to write. She's very influential. When I was younger, I did not like to write. I did not like to speak. But my fifth grade teacher made me present a poem in front of my class every Friday, and so she inspired me to write. Now, how this comes full circle is that my fifth grade teacher and I we do a reading program together, and she introduced me to Lameek. She continued to be an educator, and Lameek was a student that she taught in later years. So both Malik and I share the commonality of being taught by Miss Jacqueline James. She taught me when I was in the fifth grade, and she taught him when he was in high school, and she connected us. And so he's the illustrator, not for just this one book, but he's the illustrator for three of my books. And so I personally know him. I consider him a friend of mine. And we were introduced by a common educator. Educators continue to play a role in your life throughout. So never underestimate the impact that an educator can make in a person's life.
So you got a little amen wow from Miss Henrietta. And so I'm trying to set up my camera where they can see you.
Okay.
Okay, now they can see you a little bit. And so let's get started with Lil D.
Okay.
So Lil D, Joshua T. Dickerson, dedication. I do it, Joshua T. Dickerson. I do it for the little boy sitting silently in class because he's ashamed to speak. I do it for the little girl who didn't sleep last night because she's afraid she will be molested or raped. I do it for the child that walked through a crime and drug infested neighborhood to simply come to school. I do it to teach love to the child that has been taught to hate. I do it for the abused, the battered, and the neglected. I do it for the child who has given up hope, for the men who are looking for inspiration, for all who are depressed. I do it for those in the struggle. I do it for the people. This one little part makes me want to cry so bad because we all know someone that's impacted by that. And so Ollie said, honored to see the author. Yes, one of my faves. And so you're getting quite a bit of traction on you on TikTok too. So here we
Okay.
go. Lil D's real name is Ayana. Everyone calls her Lil D because she looks just like her mother, D, who passed away due to breast cancer when Lil D was only 3 years old. This is Lil D's mom. Okay. Now you see, this is why I need to read books in advance because I already feel like I feel like my eyes are going to leak or start sweating. Lil D hated herself. She felt that her lips were too big. She felt that her nose was too wide. She didn't like her skin color or the texture of her hair. And that's Lil D. And Lil D actually looks pretty to me. Sometimes the children at school would say mean things to Lil D. Those mean words really hurt her feelings. Words like stupid, nappy hair, ugly, big lips. Lil D would sit in class and imagine looking like the girls on television and on the internet. She wanted thinner lips. She wanted a narrow nose. She wanted her skin to be a different tone. She wanted straight hair. So she had this visual of what she should look like. Some nights, Lil D would cry at home in her bedroom. She could still hear the kids picking at her in her head. Those mean words really hurt. She missed her mom and wished that she could talk to her. And so there she is crying. Poor Lil D. Some nights, Lil D would lay in her bed with her eyes closed and imagine. Let me put my screen back here. Just a second. Some nights, Lil D would lay in her bed with her eyes closed and imagine that she was one of those girls on television and on the internet. She wanted to be anyone else but herself. And so there's Lil D. Lil D's life changed on career day. In 5th grade, her teacher, Mr. Travis, invited various women to speak to his class. A doctor, a lawyer, a dentist, a mechanic, a chef, a basketball player, and a policewoman came to talk about their careers. The policewoman really caught Lil D's attention. Officer Louise Bessie Wyatt was intelligent, beautiful, a mother and a wife. Her lips were full like a new moon. Her nose was broad like the crown of a princess. Her hair was glistening in a beautiful afro. She told the class all about her job. Officer Wyatt was even a breast cancer survivor. That name, we're going to discuss that name later. You don't just make that name up. Officer Wyatt noticed Lil D sitting at her desk. She called Lil D up to the front of the class and told her how beautiful she looked. She absolutely loved her hair. She loved her beautiful skin color. She loved the shape of her nose. She said that Lil D looked like a princess. Lil D realized she didn't need to look like the girls on television or on the internet. Everything about her is beautiful. Her hair is the perfect grade. Her skin is the perfect shade. Her nose and lips are the perfect shape. She is beautiful. She realized that she is a gift to the world. She imagined herself as royalty. The end. Wait, there's more. So turn the page to explore. Okay. Little Black Girl, Joshua T. Dickerson. Oh, I know this little girl, Justice, just from social media. Your hair glistens in the sun like a beautiful diamond. Your nose fits your face perfectly like the final piece of an exquisite puzzle. What beautiful eyes you have, similar to a full moon in a cloudless sky. Your skin is the perfect shade. Your hair is the perfect grade. You are a creation of God. Little black girl, keep shining. And this is my sister right above me, Patty. Hey, Patty. Never be ashamed, Joshua T. Dickerson. This is destiny. This is destiny that you pick her up every single birthday. But I haven't been seeing you up lately. What's going
I
on?
did it. I did it every year.
Oh, I missed this one. Never be ashamed of who you are. You're a star. Be proud of all that you are. You're a star. You're here for a reason. You are who you are. You're a shining star. Never let anyone make you feel inferior. That's not who you are. You're a star. Say it loud. I'm a star and I'm proud. Never be ashamed of who you are. You're a shining star. So these are his daughters. And I've watched them kind of grow up on social media. And it says the end, really this time, but don't forget to read the back cover. So when we flip to the back of his book, he has a little page here that you can see, has his contact information on there. Actually, has a poem. You are beautiful, Joshua T. Dickerson. You may have red hair and freckles. You are beautiful. You may have dark skin and short hair. You are beautiful, beautiful. Your skin may be the color of vanilla ice cream or caramel. You are beautiful. Your hair may be curly or straight. You are beautiful. Your nose can be wide or slim. You are beautiful. You may be the shortest in your class or the tallest. You are beautiful. No matter your size, shape, or color, you are beautiful. Absolutely love that. And so on the back, if you're not inspired enough already, he has you are wonderfully created. Never let the negative words or others determine your worth. Always remember that you are amazingly special. This touching book follows the journey of Dee, who, after years of feeling inferior, discovers her true beauty. Joshua T. Dickerson explores childhood, low self-esteem, bullying, and the impact positive mentors. This is the updated release with new illustrations. So, got a few questions. What's your favorite part of the book and your biggest takeaway?
For me? That
Yes, for
question
you.
for me? Okay.
Yes.
What is my favorite part of the book?
Mm-hmm.
My favorite part of the book is when I read throughout of it, it's just the inspirations that this book is dedicated to the women in my family. And Lil D, that's a short version of Destiny's name. Ayana is both Justice's and Destiny's middle name. I've had aunts who passed away from breast cancer, so I wanted to honor them in this book. When you said the name Louise Bessie Wyatt, you were right, it's not. And you just don't make up a name like that. Louise is my maternal grandmother's name. Bessie is my paternal great grandmother's name. Wyatt was my children's mother, my ex-wife. That's her family's last name. So I wanted to honor her family as well. And so that is my favorite part of the book, that forever my family will have something that they can look back on and know how the women in my life, whether it be from everybody from my mother to my grandmother to my aunts to my daughters to even my ex-wife, has inspired and played a critical role in my life. So when you read this book, it's more than just random names thrown out there. Everything has a meaning and purpose behind it.
And I got some comments. Henrietta says she's got to add that book to my collection, and we're going to tell you how to get that. Pancho said, wonderful, Mr. Dickerson. Kimber Knight gave you 4 hearts, and she's probably got a tear in her eyes. And she said that is too cool. So I'm sorry to cut you off, but I wanted to get their comments. So tell them where they can get the book.
You can order the book on Amazon. You just put in my name, Joshua T. Dickerson, and all of my works pop up. And Little D is one of my books.
And my sister said this is definitely my favorite book from Tucked In Tuesdays. Well, you know what kind of people I've had on here, Joshua. Well,
that's amazing.
Yeah, that's amazing. And so I would say my most favorite part of this book was I always talk about it on Facebook. I'm very insecure, low confidence. And so I immediately knew, like, I have a straight nose, but it's got a lump on it. You know, you go to elementary school, the kids will all tell you what's wrong with you. You don't, you're sized up the first day of school. And so I thought about my nose and I thought about my hair. I have natural, my sister is bald and beautiful. She did shave all her hair off. And she looks beautiful with it. And I have natural hair and I want to wear it straight, sometimes, but when it's straight, then I want my natural, but I don't have edges like everybody else. So you just can't be around here natural looking like George Jefferson with earrings on. So, you can't. But this book, I saw myself in so many pages of this book. And now how little girls look at me and say, I want to be like you when I grow up. And I'm thinking, you will be. You will be. Just trust the process. So that's probably my favorite part of the book. But my biggest takeaway from this book is everyone is beautiful in someone's eyes, even if you're not beautiful in your own eyes. Somebody sees you as being really pretty. And so embrace it when they say it. And Josh, when people call you handsome, don't go all shucks, say, thank you. My nephew does it best. 2 of them, they say, I know. I'm not there yet. But they know it. Tiffany Eckenrod said hello from San Antonio. And Ollie said, yep, trust the process. What do they say now? The glow up?
The glow up is real.
The glow up is real. So this is, I wanted to touch this book the whole time. So I told you all that you know this man so well. And thank you, Jamie Mays, for the rose, for 3 roses. One thing that you've all seen this, because I ain't got a pencil. I know you've seen it. Without a doubt, you have seen this poem in some form or fashion. So the thing about it is he hardly ever gets credit for this poem. So not only are you seeing the author, but you've seen the poem. When we read the book and open it, all of you will start saying, oh man, I shared that and said that a kid wrote that poem. I didn't realize it was Joshua. So I'm going to read it. And Amelia said, everyone indeed is beautiful. I love the book. And she has 2 brown skinned girls that she, has to make them feel like little D fell in the end. So, because I ain't got a pencil, by Joshua Dickerson, illustrated by Lameek Wilson. One of my favorite books. So he dedicates this book to my number 1 leader, God, my 2 parents, Jerry and Peggy Dickerson, my 3 children, Destiny, Joshua II, and Justice, 4 families, the Dickersons, the Burgesses, the Wyatts, and the Middletons, my 5th grade teacher, Miss Jacqueline James, 6 family members who have passed, Granddaddy Joshua, Uncle Gil.
Yes, Uncle Gil.
Cousin Christy, Grandma Bessie, Grandma Louise, Aunt Roseanne. I couldn't think of anything for the number 7, so I'll just put my 3 siblings here, Angela, Kimberly, and Benjamin. My 8 nieces and nephews, Janae, Jonathan, Salil. Did I say that right? Soleil. Malachi, Malik, Serenity, Abraham, and Elizabeth. Those are some strong names. So Here we go. Ollie says, who knew the poem will make you cry? And Kimber said, when I saw his name, I knew. So that's good. That's good. So here we go. I woke myself up because we ain't got an alarm clock. I had to find a candle because the lights got cut off again. Brush my teeth in the dark. Brush my hair in the dark too. Dug in the dirty clothes pile because ain't nobody washed my uniform. Then got my baby sister ready because mama wasn't home. Wanted to feed my sister, but we didn't have any food. So I hurried and got us both to school on time so that we could eat a good breakfast. When I walked my sister to her class, she said she didn't have a pencil, so I gave her mine. I hurried on to my class. On the way, the boys teased me again because my clothes were dirty and wrinkled. Couldn't wait to get to class because we were having a science test, my favorite subject, and I studied really hard for it. Then when I got to class, the teacher fussed at me because I ain't got a pencil. And there's the little, because he doesn't have a pencil, it ruins his whole day. So I wanted to read this book because so many people have heard this poem. Now, my sister says she has this book, and Roland, of course, I remember you, Roland, Mr. Simon. So, with this book, what inspired you to write? What was the changing point in your life that made you write this book?
What made me write this book um, is a situation that I saw in which a young boy didn't have a pencil, and the leader asked him, said, "Okay, I want to give you a pencil, but I want some collateral that I'll get this pencil back." So the boy took off. He said, "You have to give me one of your shoes because I know you like those shoes, and I know you'll give me that back, so I'll get my pencil back." And the little boy took off his shoe, and he had on dirty socks, and the kids laughed at him. So I just created a visual in my mind of possibly what that child could have went through leading up to the incident of not having a pencil. And sometimes people think that when a child does not have their supplies, that they're neglectful or irresponsible, but it could actually be the total opposite. Some of children come to you giving you the best that they have to give and doing the best that they have. And it is our job as educators, leaders, mentors, or whatever capacity you serve children, to serve them with love, kindness, and respect. So that was the inspiration behind it.
I absolutely love that. I don't know how many. You gave me a signed frame when you came to the school. You signed my poster and put it in the frame.
Yes.
And I had it sitting by a basket by my door with pencils. And so a kid could stick their hand in my basket and get pencils without me saying anything, without me saying, no, 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 just one, because kids don't steal pencils, not yellow pencils. If they
Right.
take one of those, they need a yellow pencil.
Yes.
And so it's so many kids that I've seen, they don't have pencils. And I just need every educator to remember they don't have a job either. And so they can't go shopping for pencils. And it was so many things. The only reason why he didn't have a pencil was because he gave it to his sister.
Mm-hmm.
And he had did a lot of things that morning that normally older people have to do. And I've been in that situation with no lights in our trailer when we fell on hard times, brushing our teeth, lighting candles as a kid, thinking this is cool, not knowing that wasn't cool, or lighting the stove to have warmth, putting the windows up for air. And so I get it. Or hand washing your clothes in the tub and hanging them up so they can dry. And he took care of his sister, and it may have looked like both were neglected, but definitely weren't, you know. And so I absolutely love this book. So you see this book at the beginning of the school year every time.
Every time. Yeah.
It starts around the beginning of the school year. And who have you seen get credit for this poem?
Who have I seen? It primarily says the incorrect headline, written by a student in Baltimore. And so I don't
Are
even
you?
know I'm not even sure how that started, but I ended up getting invited to Baltimore and speaking to the in Baltimore at Baltimore public schools to dispel that myth. But somehow it gets recirculated every year. That's the primary thing that I see.
And I see Melody. She says, I still like my stove to keep warm. Yeah, I mean, you light an oven and leave that door open, the house will be warm.
Yeah.
Now we have carbon monoxide and all that stuff. But Joshua, it's a pleasure to have you. Do you have any other books?
Yeah, I've written some other books. I've written a couple other children's short stories. One is called, this is a big poster, I Can't Read. This is about a young man who early on in his educational life could not read, and I'll just spoiler alert, he ends up going to college. So just inspiration to students not giving up. Then I have a couple of poetry books out. I have a new poetry book coming out December 9th. It's called Ready to Live. And traditionally my books and my poetry have been about other people and their lives and things that I witnessed. But this is more so like a autobiography of my life in poetry form.
So Um, Kimber says danger with the stoves. Yes. And Pancho goes, I have no more tissue. So he's maxed out on crying. So Joshua, I don't know if you really can do this, but I know your book comes out December 9th. Is there like a little smidget of a poem that you
Yeah, yeah,
can share?
yeah, yeah. Um, it's called it's a little snippet on Ready to Live. Um, I know what it feels like to be laughed at. I know what it feels like to do wrong. I've lied, I've cheated, I've stolen, but that is no longer me. I'm a father, I'm a leader, I'm a man. I'll do whatever it takes to be the best man that I can be, to provide and support for my family. It now makes sense, all the things that my grandmother and grandfather taught me. Watch your manners, listen, be respectful, spend wisely, but have fun. After so many years of feeling dead inside, I can finally say that I'm ready to live. That's a snippet of the poem "Ready to Live," and that's the title poem for the book.
So
And
where can
so
they buy that book? And where can
that'll
I
be
buy that book?
that'll be available on Amazon. I'm gonna do an early release on December 2nd. The official book comes out December 9th. I live in the Atlanta area. I'm having a book signing on December 9th at Life Bistro. It's a vegan restaurant, and so I'm supporting one of my friends that where I went to college with. He owns a vegan spot, and so he's opening his doors for me to do my book signing there. Um, and that's going to be Saturday, December 9th. But it'll be available for order on Saturday, December 2nd.
Love that. And you got some love shows. Kimber said, thanks for visiting Tucked In Tuesday, Joshua. And Miss Fehrenbacher says, such an awesome book. And I remember when you came to the school, such a fabulous visit. Yes, she worked at Homer.
That was a great.
Kels, yeah, we'll talk about that in just a second because schools are totally missing out if they're not getting you in there. Kelsey Thibodeau sent you a purple heart, and Kimber sent you even more red hearts this time. And Teresa Bean Hank said that she loves it. So, Joshua, you also do trips to school. So I saw Joshua and I was like, I need him at my school. And so Joshua met this one particular little boy. Joshua has such an impact on that little boy. We went to his house and, to the apartments. The little boy was outside and there was a connection. So Joshua went to give the little boy the book, met with him at school. So maybe 2 years later, that kid opened up he was selling candy to buy a lawnmower. Remember, he
Yeah,
made all the money and made the news.
yeah,
And that was one of the kids that Joshua had an impact with. He came to the school and you said something about, I know we still say if it is to be, it is up to me, but you said something about the Eagles. I
yeah,
remember.
yeah. I was
Could you
telling.
tell that story?
Yeah, it's a old fable that I've heard told many different ways. But it basically tells a story about a group of chickens finds an egg, and they know that that egg is not a chicken egg, but it's a larger egg. But they say whatever we hatches out that egg, we're gonna raise it to believe it's a chicken. So an eagle hatches out of the egg, but it doesn't realize it's an eagle. It thinks that it's a chicken, so it does things like a chicken. Until one day a flood comes and it looks down and it realizes that it's one of those birds that it saw flying over his head, and it begins to realize that all this time I've moved like a chicken because I was told that's what I was, and I believed that's what I was. So I never maximized my full potential. And I always tell kids that story because let's be honest, when you're a girl, they say, okay, girls aren't good in science and math. People tell you that. When you come from impoverished circumstances, they tell you what you're going to be. So you never look yourself in the mirror sometimes and realize what you can be. So I just want children, adults, even myself, I have to look myself in the mirror on my toughest days and remember that I'm destined to be great and I'm not just here to be average or inferior.
I love that. Absolutely love that. Hold on, we got one more comment. Joshua. Oh my gosh. Yes. If you just sit around and they can even follow your page, right?
Yes, yes. You can
So
follow me
your
on
face.
Facebook at Joshua T. Dickerson, on TikTok at Joshua T. Dickerson, and on Instagram at Joshua T. Dickerson. All of it's Joshua T. Dickerson.
So thank you so much. You have any parting words that you like to
Yeah.
leave them with?
I want to do some parting words too because the two books that we read today, they're about 7 years old. I do have another young daughter. I have a 5-year-old daughter named Justice. And she's in some of my later stuff that I've written. But I do want to give recognition to Justice and her mother as well, and want to give recognition to all my family, all my friends, and anybody who's ever supported me. And I thank you for your love, your kindness, and your support. And the only way that this world is going to get better is for all of us to work together and uplift each other. And so I'm thankful for the opportunity. Thank you, Doctor, for all you've meant to my life. You speak about what I've done for you. You have no idea of the inspiration that you and Mr. Melvin have done to me. So I thank you for your impact, not only on me, but I thank you for your impact on the world. You were a leader and you are a leader that is a leader of the people, and you are amongst the people, and that is impressive to me. So I thank you, and I thank everybody for their time tonight.
Yes, and Joshua, I want to say to you, I mean, this this is one of the most comical people, respectful, comical, great father. Um, I mean, I can't say enough about him. And that's I met him once, but just watching him with his kids and the way the kids look at him can tell it tells you a lot. Tells you a lot when a kid looks at their father the way they well, not every look, but some of them. Not at the school dances, but
Not in the
I
school
mean,
dance.
not at the school dances. So I encourage you, if there are young men, let them follow Joshua Dickerson. That's one of the adults that I will tell them to follow. There's nothing ever raunchy. I mean, the worst he says is I'm not saying good morning to people
Yeah.
who eat blue cheese. So I'm honestly not greeted all the time, but it's all in love. Ali said, I had them crying at our ATP fall meeting. I'm sorry. And Sabrina said, thank you for, I ain't got no pencil. I had the poem hung in my class in Port Arthur and taught from it as a bell ringer. True statements about Dr. George. Very encouraging Tuesday today. Well, thank y'all. I love you too, Teresa. So, Joshua, I'm gonna close out, but those new books that you have, just inbox me, tell me about them, and of course, I'll snatch them up, order them, and then even the I can't read one, and bring you back over again. And like I said, if you are an educator or in any kind of where you need people motivated, please look up Joshua Dickerson. He likes macaroni cheese.
I
He likes
do. I
fried
love
chicken.
it.
He likes fried chicken. I still remember he told us his favorites, and we cooked them
Yeah.
when he came out. And so he's a pleasure to me. So thank you, Mr. Dickerson. Guys, like I tell you every night or every day, if nobody else tells you, Dr. George loves you. And rest well on purpose. Thank you again, Mr. Dickerson, for everything you
Thank you,
do.
Dr. George.
Your mark is not even made yet. I mean, your poem has been in doors that you have not yet entered, but they've opened up the door. So just trust the process. It's coming.
Thank you.
It's
Thank you.
definitely coming. So thank you so much. Good night, guys. Hold on one second, Mr. Dickerson.
Okay.